Hello there, villagers, and welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And today, of course, I have to bring you guys a mashup of everything and, of course, what people are saying about this mass protest that's been happening for days now in California. And I just want to know what you guys think and what you guys have to say. Me, personally, I feel like this was all done on purpose, of course, by the Trump administration. They are pushing Project 2025 into everyone's throat, whether we like it or not. And the first thing, like I said on my TikTok channel, and if you're not following me on TikTok, please do so. It's the very same name, Stacy's Random POV, with the Israeli flag. And the reason why I put an Israeli flag on my TikTok channel is so that my comments do not get reported. Anywho, he is doing this because it's first the brown folks, then the black folks, and then the Americans. He is planning on getting rid of anyone who is opposing him, who do not see what he sees. And of course, this is not going to end well. Stuff like this usually never ends well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.
My disappointment is I've been talking to the federal government for days. I was hoping to prevent this situation from happening. I was trying to encourage the administration that if they deployed the National Guard in Los Angeles, it would create a sense of chaos. It's the last thing our city needs. Our city is still trying to recover from the wildfires. And you just think about how so many people were impacted by that. And that's an example of where the administration was helpful. And to go from that situation to where we are now is just really tragic. And I think it's so unfortunate. It's the last thing Los Angeles needs. We're hearing all sorts of information. We're hearing that the raids could continue. We're hearing that the National Guard is going to be here. So it's uncertain. But that's exactly the problem. Because we don't need in this city to go to sleep tonight and wake up in the morning and find out about people running through Home Depot parking lots being chased by ICE officers, or people going to work, or children at school. So we don't need any of that in our city right now. Our city is trying to heal. Our city is trying to rebuild. Our city does not need to be torn apart with a provocative measure from the federal government.
So these are federal law enforcement officers that are carrying this out. As we see one more person, that person being dragged across the street for a moment there, being arrested.
But we want to remind folks that viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. So we're starting to see some of these people being detained by what appears to be federal law enforcement at this point. We believe that these are Border Patrol police that are on scene.
This is what fascist governments do when people rise up, and the people are rising up. Like, we are here defending our communities. There's no two ways about it. We are here to say you cannot separate these families. You cannot take people away.
They're picking up people, vans are coming, people, and their faces are covered. They're wearing black, and they're just putting people in vans, arresting them. It's happening all over. And now that the National Guard has been released, it's horrifying.
It is an embarrassment to have the National Guard deployed on domestic territory against its people. It is despicable.
Well, breaking fuck the news. LA and Southern California is literally a fucking war zone right now. Earlier this morning, ICE agents attempted to make a mass deportation raid at a Home Depot, and people came out in the droves. There was some type of irritant that was deployed, apparently, that is not regularly used. It wasn't tear gas, supposedly. There's videos coming out of parts of LA as well, where ICE agents are straight up just grabbing people, beating them with billy sticks, nightsticks, whatever the fuck. I saw about 5 videos of people getting zip-tied, thrown in the back of paddy wagons. I've seen videos of fucking ICE and Border Patrol agents fucking flying up the street, running from protesters, throwing shit at their cars. I've seen trash cans and shit on fire. At this point, I haven't seen it all. What else? Apparently, this is going to be taking place there's ICE raids taking place in a lot of places in Southern California currently, and the border czar has stated that they're planning on him. I don't know. I guess the Trump administration is planning on sending out the National Guard because it's starting to get buck fucking wild. So, listen, just go look up what happened during the LA riots. We're about to be there, everybody. Welcome to the shit show.
I mean, let's not mince any words about it, right? The reason that people are protesting in Los Angeles is because the only choice they have besides protesting is to watch their entire neighborhood get black bagged and thrown into a car and then shipped down to South America. It is protest or disappear. When people become that desperate to have their dignity, their humanity recognized, they will go out in the streets and force you to take them off. That's it. It's the most American protest I could imagine. It is literally talking to an occupying army, which is ICE, and telling them, not in my fucking town. Tell me that shit doesn't just hit you right there. Tell me that doesn't just scream red, white, and blue, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, whether you're from West Virginia, whether you're from Indiana, you're from the Dakotas, you're from the Carolinas, or you're from California, everybody can get behind that part of our national mythology is that when people start coming knocking on the door at night, we have something waiting for them on the other side. And these people are doing them the courtesy of not even letting them get to that point and saying, before you even come to my house, you better meet me outside.
In case you wanted to know where they're hiding all the ammunition.
The real sight, this Black Hawk moved in just in the last few minutes from the Border Patrol, landing at that Homeland Security office on the Paramount side, right next to the Home Depot, and they are unloading this huge helicopter with, I mean, just boxes and boxes, dozens of boxes of ammunitions, less lethal weaponry. You see these tanks with flammable labels on the side, one after another, an entire shipment, as if they were getting ready for some kind of a major battle. I mean, it really has to be said, this is a remarkable sight in the middle of a suburban street here.
This is what people don't understand about the protests that are happening in Los Angeles right now. For those of you that don't know, there's an absolute war zone going on in Los Angeles of people protesting the deportation of illegal and legal immigrants that are living in the United States. And to put things very clearly, as this person did, these people are not protesting deportations. There has always been a legal process for deportations, and both parties supported this. What they are protesting is the actions that these people are taking by eliminating due process and even rounding up people on their way to their court date. And now Donald Trump has sent the National Guard to combat the protesters, which were supposed to be a peaceful protest, but that's never really the case in any protest because some people decide to loot, steal, cause fires, throwing things at vehicles, and once these things start happening, then it's not a peaceful protest anymore, and then Donald Trump can send in the National Guard. And in Beverly Hills, there's a completely separate protest in support of Donald Trump, in support of the National Guard, and the deportation of illegal immigrants. This is happening in Beverly Hills, though it is unfortunate because of the rioting and the looters. Donald Trump is fully ready to go to war with Gavin Newsom.
If you are protesting in LA right now, I need you to listen to this, because with the military being deployed, it does not mean that you lose your rights to protest, to record. Obviously, dealing with them is not like dealing with the police, but they still have to follow domestic law enforcement rules. It is not, they cannot treat it as a war zone. So here's a few things that I need you to keep in mind. Do not provoke, do not resist. Keep your hands visible, stay peaceful, and stay alert. Document everything. From a distance, document everything. And if you are detained, you have the right to remain silent. You can say, I am choosing to remain silent, I want a lawyer, and repeat that if you have to. Depending on your state, I don't know what it is in LA, you may have to give your name, but other than that, you don't have to answer questions. If they take your phone, first off, they cannot go through it without a warrant. They also are not allowed to delete any of your videos. If you are arrested, you have the right to a phone call, and if it is to your lawyer, they have no right to listen to that. Just remember, even with military there, the Constitution still applies, okay? Martial law has not been declared just because there are soldiers present. Most importantly, please, please, please stay safe.
So we now see this memorandum where the president has federalized the National Guard and is deploying them to California in an effort to thwart the massive protests of you-know-who out there. And to that I say this. We knew this man has been trying to find a reason to deploy troops onto American soil. Make no mistake about it. It doesn't matter how much he tries to lie and say he didn't want to, but there was weak leadership, et cetera, et cetera. No, this man has been trying to bait the American people into giving him a reason to do just that. That's why so many of us have cautioned about how you go out and behave during this thing, all of these massive unrests. This is why you see many people that look like myself. We have taken a stand where we're not engaging because we know the moment that we decide we want to join into it, he was going to escalate it to another level. And so this is concerning. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that I read that Governor Gavin Newsom has refused the services, but the president has come back and said he doesn't care. He's going to do it anyway. This could be a showdown, depending on how this goes. This could be a hell of a showdown. Once again, I maintain my position that this man's stance on immigration will be the thing that breaks him. This will be the thing that brings him down, because for some reason, when it comes down to anything other than something that looks like him coming to this country, it drives him crazy. And we are looking at a man that's coming undone because a group of people have come into this country and they're undocumented. That's what this all boils down to.
And he has made a lie up on these people from the jump. Make no mistake about it. Do we have a problem with people being undocumented? Yes. But there was also a solution that was out there at one point that he stopped. We cannot undo that history. He stopped it. He did. Let's say it for what it is. 47 stopped the original plans on that in an effort to not give Joe Biden a win. Those were his words, not mine. And since he's come back into office, all he has done is lied on these people, calling them all types of criminals and just these bad things. And this is how we are here. This man has been trying to find a way to get boots on American soil since he's gotten into office. And all he needed was just a protest. How do I say this? That fit his narrative. And because I haven't seen the damage that he's trying to say. And if the National Guard was needed, I would think that Gavin Newsom would know how to call them. So that's just my thoughts on all this. Just an unfreaking real time, but not unsuspected. This man is actually very predictable for a man that is unpredictable.
Breaking news. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says he may send in the U.S. Marines into Los Angeles. What? The U.S. military is not used against the American citizens. Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, are you going to break every rule and violate everything in the Constitution? It is not used against the American people, and certainly not for this. You all have caused all the problems going on here. You all have done it on purpose. You're trying to get to a point where you can declare martial law so that you can invoke powers and take over that are not justified. Period. It's time for Republicans in the House and the Senate to start calling this out, because Donald Trump and his minions, in particular two, Stephen Miller and Tom Holman, are the ones doing this. And then you got the DUI, Pete Hegseth. Wonder who he's been on the latest signal chat with. The Chinese or the Russians? What do you think? This is scary. I made a bad joke perhaps, but this is scary, and they're about to unravel the country. Thank you, Donald Trump. MAGA, I hope you're happy for all of what you're about to bring us, because you all are so unable to see with those burned out light bulbs you use. I have to use my words carefully. We're on TikTok. Love you for my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs. Call your congressman, call your senator, tell them to tell Trump to back down. 202-224-3121. This is not right. Again, we're on TikTok. I have to be careful what I say. They cannot use the military against the American people. We are not a dictatorship. Trump is not a king. No.
We have some major breaking news. California Governor Gavin Newsom just responded to Donald Trump sending the National Guard into Los Angeles tonight. Just moments ago, Gavin Newsom confirmed that Donald Trump is trying to take over the National Guard. He wrote, quote, "The federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. That move is purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. LA authorities are able to access law enforcement assistance at a moment's notice. We are in close coordination with the city and county, and there's currently no unmet need. The Guard has been admirably serving LA throughout recovery. This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust." He also added to that by saying, quote, "As the federal government conducts chaotic immigration sweeps across the country, the state is deploying additional CHP to maintain safety on Los Angeles highways to keep the peace. It's not their job to assist in federal immigration enforcement. The federal government is sowing chaos so they can have an excuse to escalate. This is not the way any civilized country behaves." This is incredibly scary. You need to spread this message around. Donald Trump is trying to take control of the National Guard and send them into California. This move is only going to escalate things. It will not solve anything. It will make things worse. So please be aware, and if you're protesting in California, be safe. Don't make any stupid decisions. Don't engage in violence. Don't touch law enforcement. Protect yourselves. Don't give the Trump administration a reason to arrest you.
as a guy who lives in Southern California, I want to talk about what's going on right now with the ICE raids and then the federalizing of the reserves and sending them into LA. First of all, this is all caused by Trump. It is, and the White House. And this is their fault, and this is their doing. They initially said that when they were going to crack down on immigration, they were going to crack down on criminals and people with arrest records. And now they're showing up at Home Depots and different places where you have undocumented immigrants working for work, usually in industries and professions where they are actually needed, construction, landscaping, etc., where businesses rely on them across the country. And they're tracking people down, and people in these neighborhoods are fighting back. And now he's bypassing the governor of the state of California, and he's federalizing troops to go in and fight on U.S. streets, And the thing that I can't get past, like Pete Hegseth tweeted out a little while ago tonight, he said, the violent mob assaults on ICE and federal law enforcement are designed to prevent the removal of criminal, illegal aliens from our soil, a dangerous invasion facilitated by criminal cartels and a huge national security risk. Under President Trump, violence and destruction against federal agents and federal facilities will not be tolerated. It's common sense. And I feel like saying, what the fuck about January 6th? What about January 6th? Donald Trump stood by as his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, attacked Capitol police officers, stormed through the doors, broke down windows, broke down doors in an effort to attack and injure members of the government and also to keep a democratic election from ceasing. Okay? So your people did that and you did nothing. You sat by and watched. You tweeted and watched. You wouldn't call in reinforcements. And then afterwards, you become president and you pardon all of them. So shut the fuck up about violence and destruction against federal agents and federal facilities will not be tolerated. It's common sense. Shut the fuck up. Because you sat there as your people attacked the Capitol and you didn't do shit. And you see this now as this golden opportunity to bring in your authoritative impulses and crack down on people below you and make this whole nation heel to you. And like, wow, I'm sure it's a temporary thrill for you. The shit is not going to last. It's just not. It never does. And like, again, you're so concerned about democracy, but where the fuck were you when your people were attacking the U.S. Capitol? Where the fuck were you? So give me a fucking break. And now you're bringing the National Guard. Seriously, it's utterly preposterous.
Wow. Remember how Donald Trump said, if he doesn't win, we'll be living in a third world country? Remember that? But now it's clear we're living in a third world country because these ICE raids have brought out an element in our country I haven't seen ever. We have people protesting and throwing rocks and sticks and things like that at ICE agents. Unbelievable. And this is here in California. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know what to say. I have never, ever been as embarrassed as I am to be an American. This is nothing but the results of the failure of arguably, scientifically proven, the most incompetent administration ever known to mankind. I don't think there was a leader in American or world history that is as incompetent as the Trump administration. Congratulations, MAGA. You have successfully managed to turn the United States of America into a third world country. And this is on the heels of Donald Trump and Elon Musk feuding, and it being revealed to his supporters that Trump is in the Epstein files, according to what Elon says. Wow.
I hate to say this, but there will be bloodshed. There will be bloodshed, and if you can't sense that, I don't know what to tell you, but there will be bloodshed. It seems like these people want to see that. I'm just looking at some of the footage that's coming out of California right now, and I saw a guy that was riding on his motorcycle, and he had a Mexican flag on the back. Then I saw some representatives walk up to this door of this facility that was housing immigrants. As they were showing their badges, they're still knocking on the door to get in, and so in the comments, I wanted to see if they got into this facility, and the comments said no. And of course, by now, y'all should know that the director of ICE has now announced that Trump has okayed for them to move in Marines. Bloodshed. They're not going to stop until they see that. Now we see ICE agents going viral for popping up in cities or at schools or at ceremonies or at court. It's become increasingly violent. Ever since they popped their ass up in Minnesota and the residents kicked their ass out, I honestly feel like they have a point to prove. Know that they've made major mistakes, including arresting people who had legal documentation and arresting one of their own ICE agents. Know that they're deploying Marines, whether it's done by accident or on purpose. Something terrible is getting ready to happen in California.
Way I see it, couple thousand members of the California National Guard are fixing to come to a crossroads because they got two ways they can handle this situation. They can pull up and provide the people they are sworn to protect with compassion, empathy, and care, and probably prevent any further protest problem. Or they can show up with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove while they slide on the boot of oppression and become oath breakers. I really don't see a whole lot of in between. And if for some reason you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Fanta-fascists just federalized 2,000 of the California National Guard to put together what I can only assume is a protest-stopping force. Not to be outdone by old Dementia Don when it comes to potentially putting American citizens in the dirt, the old DUI hire himself, Sec-Def Pete Kegsbreath, has declared he might deploy the Marines. Do y'all not understand how goddamn dystopian everything I just said sounds? Oh, you don't think so? Well, what happens when it's your state the wannabe penis potato sets his sights on because your leadership doesn't do what he says? This shit's gotta stop, or the concept of freedom in our country is gonna fucking cease to exist. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Keep the motherfucking boots out of your motherfucking mouth, and remember that the golden rule will always remain: yeehaw, fuck the law. Love y'all. See you down the line.
So Donald Trump has officially sent in the National Guard to California to deal with all the protests against ICE agents, which is concerning and awful enough as it is, but it gets even worse, because following that order, he issued another order, saying that if he did not feel like the National Guard could get the protesters under control, he would be sending in the Marines. The Marines, yes, you heard that correctly. He said, the President of the United States said that if the National Guard could not get the protesters, his own citizens, under control, he would be sending in active military Marine personnel to do the job, i.e. turning active military against its own citizens. A figure in power turning the military against its own citizens because those citizens are speaking out against the administration. What does that sound like to you? And it will be very interesting because every time we talk about things like this, a lot of people, a lot of military personnel are like, we would never march for a corrupt regime. We'll see how many of them go to California.
Trump, the administration, the Border Patrol, ICE, they know that they cannot go anywhere in this country where our people are and try to kidnap our workers, our people, and they can't do that without an organized and fierce resistance.
We're just here living, working. They stopped at Home Depot where they know that people are undocumented. So us as a community have came here to try to make peace so that they don't make families separate one another.
This is what they wanted. They wanted people to riot. They wanted the people to start fireworks. They wanted the people to start burning out. Why? Because this is the effect. So they can make us look bad. So they can make us seem that we're the ones causing this, that we started it. We didn't start this.
Breaking news.
news. Protesters and federal agents clashing in Southern California over recent ICE arrests. This video showing the violent confrontations outside a federal building in downtown LA. Police cracking down on protesters, declaring it an unlawful assembly, ordering the crowd to go home. This is the second day of chaos and vandalism. Tonight, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem warning the protesters, "You will not stop us or slow us down." All of this as the man mistakenly deported to a notorious prison in El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is now back in the U.S. facing charges now, accused of transporting undocumented migrants. His attorney calling the charges, quote, preposterous. ABC's senior reporter Catherine Faulders leads us off tonight.
Tonight, protests escalating into conflict in Los Angeles as the Trump administration's aggressive deportation efforts sparked fear and outrage across the country. For the second consecutive day, angry crowds clashed with law enforcement following a series of ICE raids that drew condemnation from local leaders.
You cannot just come into the community and terrorize citizens the way you did.
An ICE raid in Paramount today devolving into chaos. Dramatic aerial footage showing protesters blocking a bus carrying officers. Police in riot gear dispersing crowds with flashbangs and tear gas. The FBI vowing to find people they say threw rocks at law enforcement vehicles. And in New York, video showing this man, which the Department of Homeland Security identified as Joaquin Rosario Espinal of the Dominican Republic. Authorities say Espinal resisted arrest following the dismissal of his immigration proceedings. He and another woman who allegedly assaulted an officer were arrested, authorities say, despite interference by members of the public. The Department of Homeland Security calling for an end to the violence against ICE officers, who they claim are facing a 413% increase in assaults when carrying out arrests. The tensions reaching a breaking point just as Kilmar Abrego Garcia arrives back in the United States. The 29-year-old Salvadoran man from Maryland became a symbol of Trump's immigration crackdown after the administration admitted to mistakenly deporting him. The government of El Salvador agreeing to his release to face charges. Abrego Garcia, now the subject of a 2-count federal indictment. Those charges stemming from this 2022 traffic stop in Tennessee, where Abrego Garcia was pulled over driving an SUV with 9 other people inside.
He's hauling these people for money. You got a collar, is what he's doing.
The Department of Justice alleging Abrego Garcia was part of a human smuggling ring responsible for transporting drugs, weapons, and migrants, including MS-13 gang members. His attorney called the charges preposterous, and his wife had previously denied he had any affiliation with the gang. With sources tell ABC News that the decision to indict Abrego Garcia led to the abrupt resignation of a top federal prosecutor in Tennessee. His departure prompted by concerns the case was being brought for political reasons. With
Catherine Faulders.
It did not have to be this way. Black people tried to warn you. Black people have been dealing with this for centuries, and we tried to warn you. While black people were sounding the alarm and trying to warn you, you were over-talking black people, you were ignoring black people, you were calling black people racist, and you were doing this.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. All the way to the White House.
Yeah, while we were sounding the alarm and sending out smoke signals warning you, that's what you were doing. People in the brown community, not just the Hispanics, were saying that we survived a Trump presidency the first time around. How much worse can it get? And we were saying, oh, it could get much worse. And here we are. And I'm here to tell you, even still, it's going to get worse. Donald Trump has called in the National Guard. He is calling in the military. I saw a video where a Black Hawk helicopter has landed in California. It's going to get much worse. And the Hispanic community went into the voting booth and overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. Therefore, you voted for this. He told you, you put him back into office, he and his administration will conduct the largest mass deportations in history. He told you it would be bloody. And y'all overwhelmingly went into the voting booth and voted for him. And please don't get down in my comment section and say that was the Cubans, that was the Venezuelans. The way y'all lump all black people together, all of y'all are Hispanics. All of y'all are Latinos. Your community did this. And it's sad. It's sad watching this happen. It really is. It's sad because it did not have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. Y'all be safe out there. Y'all are fighting for your lives. Please be safe out there. And black people, I know you are watching And I know you are itching. I know you want to get out there. If you do it, please be safe. I won't be out there. All of my protesting years out in the streets is behind me. My knees, my back, yeah, we can't do that these days. Perimenopause, yeah, we can't do that these days. I cannot put my body on the line for a group of people who snubbed my community. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can offer sympathy, I can offer empathy, but beyond that, yeah, I got homework to do. And yes, Black people, I agree with all of you that are saying we were first. They came after us first. I agree with you. We were the test. If other marginalized communities stood back and didn't join in on a large scale with Black people fighting for their lives, then they knew that they then could move on to their communities. And here we are. We knew it. We knew it. But I want you to rest up, because once they decimate their communities altogether, this thing is going to boomerang right on back around. It's going to ricochet. And we need to be rested, because the fight is coming back to our front doorsteps. I love y'all. I'll see y'all.